The Knicks just took another one. The Knicks were absolutely locked in tonight, and the stats did all the talking in their blowout. 119-102 win over the Washington Wizards. This was one of those nights where nearly everything clicked, and the numbers were ruthless about it. They shot 46.8% from the field, hit 36.6% of their threes, and knocked down 80% of their free throws. That kind of scoring spread, combined with top-level ball movement and defensive energy, made it clear who controlled this game. This was their 4th win of the season, putting them at 4 wins and 3 losses overall. But more importantly, they've now won all 4 home games. Madison Square Garden was rocking, and the team rewarded the fans with a performance that looked polished, aggressive, and cohesive. They finished with 49 rebounds, 32 assists, 12 steals, and only 12 turnovers. That's a winning formula. Karl Anthony Towns looked like the star they need him to be. He dropped 33 points on 50% shooting from the field, hitting 12 of 24 shots. He also hit 3 of 8 from deep and went 6 of 7 from the free throw line. That's 85.7% for those doing the math. He added 13 rebounds, including 5 offensive boards, which gave the Knicks a ton of second chance opportunity. He also threw in 5 assists and finished the night with a plus 13 in the box score. He dominated every phase of the game. OG was next level again. He finished with 16 points on 7 of 13 shooting, giving him a scorching 53.8% from the field. But that wasn't even the most impressive part. He added 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 5 steals. That's not a typo. 5 steals. He was everywhere. His plus 9 rating didn't even fully capture the kind of chaos he caused for Washington's offense. His defensive pressure completely disrupted any rhythm the Wizards tried to build. Jalen Brunson's shooting was off, going 6 of 17 from the floor, which is just 35.3%. But he still managed to rack up 16 points and dish out 9 assists, leading the team in playmaking. He kept the offense moving and took care of the ball, committing just 2 turnovers. His plus 21 was tied for the highest on the team, which shows how much impact he had even when the shot wasn't falling. Bridges was low-key deadly. He put up 10 points on 4 of 8 shooting, which is right at 50%. He also went 2 of 3 from beyond the arc, knocking down 66.7% of his threes. Add 4 assists, 3 steals, and a plus 21 to that line, and you're looking at a guy who brought elite defense and efficient scoring without ever forcing anything. That's exactly the role he's supposed to play. Filled in for Mitchell Robinson in the starting lineup and added 11 points on 3 of 8 shooting. He hit 2 of 6 from deep, pulled down 5 rebounds, and chipped in an assist. Not flashy, but very steady in 25 minutes. He did his job and kept the spacing consistent. Off the bench, Jordan Clarkson lit it up. He scored 15 points in just 21 minutes, shooting 5 of 8 from the field. That's 62.5%. He went 2 of 5 from 3 and was perfect from the line, hitting all 3 free throws. He brought instant offense and kept the momentum going every time he stepped on the floor. His plus 17 was among the best on the team. Josh Hart continued his all-around rampage. In 26 minutes, he posted 12 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 steals. Let that sink in. That's a near triple-double with elite defense. He shot 5 of 7 from the field, which is 71.4%, and went 2 of 4 from deep. He tied for the best plus-minus on the night at plus 21. He was flying around everywhere, grabbing boards, making passes, and forcing turnover. The team fed off his energy all night. Miles McBride added 3 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal in 14 minutes. His role was small, but he brought energy and kept things organized when he was out there. Guershon Yabusele had 1 point and 3 rebounds in 14 minutes as well. And he was a plus 10 despite not filling up the stat sheet. The effort was there. Tyler Kolek added 2 points, and the trio of Ariel Hukporti, Pacoma Daddiai, and Muhammad Diawara logged a few garbage time minutes and helped close things out without incident. From a team efficiency standpoint, the Knicks were dialed in. They made 44 of 94 total field goals. That's a high volume night with good efficiency. They took 41 threes and knocked down 15, showing they weren't afraid to let it fly, but also knew when to pick their spots. Their effective field goal percentage was right around 54%, which is excellent. They assisted on 73% of their made shots, 32 assists on 44 field goals. That's elite ball movement. The offense wasn't stagnant at all. Guys were cutting, swinging the ball, making the extra pass, and it showed up in the shot distribution. 10 different players scored, 5 players hit double figures. That's balance. and that's dangerous for opposing teams. Rebounding was another area they crushed. They out-rebounded Washington by double digits and collected 12 offensive boards. Towns led with 5 offensive rebounds, and Hart added 10 total boards, dominating the glass from the wing. Those extra possessions turned into easy buckets and broke the Wizards' momentum over and over. Defensively, they forced Washington into chaos. 12 steals, 3 blocks, constant pressure on the perimeter. Their switching defense locked down the silhouette Wizards shooters and forced them into tough looks. Washington never looked comfortable after the first quarter, and the third quarter was a nightmare for them. New York outscored them 41-24 in that stretch and hit 15 of 22 shots, including 6 of 10 from 3. They also had 12 assists in that quarter alone. That's ridiculous offensive flow. Brunson and Towns combined for 14 assists, and the supporting cast filled in every gap. OG and Hart were everywhere, combining for 10 steals and 11 assists. That's absurd two-way impact. It's rare for two wings to have that kind of production on both ends of the floor, but they made it look normal. The Knicks posted an estimated true shooting percentage of 59%. Their points per field goal attempt hovered around 1.26, which is extremely efficient. They were decisive, quick, and confident in their offense. The half-court sets benefited from Towns' presence inside and Brunson's playmaking. Hart and OG attacked mismatches, and Clarkson added scoring punch every time he entered the game. The assist-to-turnover ratio for the team was about 2.7-1. That's elite, especially considering the pace they played with. It shows they took care of the ball while still pushing in transition and moving it freely in the half court. The starting 5 finished with a combined plus 58 in their shared minutes. That's dominant. Every single starter was in double-digit plus-minus territory, and nobody forced anything. The scoring was spread out, the defense was active, and the rebounding was relentless. OG continues to be the most quietly dominant two-way player on the floor. He's doing everything, scoring efficiently, locking up on defense, and playing within the system perfectly. 5 steals and 6 assists? That's a game changer. Brunson didn't shoot well, but his control of the offense and leadership showed through. 9 assists and just 2 turnovers is exactly the kind of night you want from your lead guard, even when the shots aren't dropping. Bridges did his damage in the margins, bringing top-level defense and hitting shots when needed. Shamet filled in without disrupting anything. Clarkson was the microwave scorer off the bench, and Hart was the spark plug who tied everything together. The Knicks were just better everywhere tonight. Offense, defense, rebound, passing, effort. It was all there, and they did it with confidence and control. The Wizards had a decent start, even led by 10 at one point, but it didn't matter. The Knicks never panicked. They stuck to the system, tightened up defensively, and completely flipped the game in the third quarter. That's what good teams do. And tonight, the Knicks looked very good. But I want to talk about Cat. Karl Anthony Towns finally looked like the all-star version of himself tonight, and it completely shifted what this Knicks team can look like when he's rolling. In 30 minutes, he dropped 33 points, grabbed 13 rebounds, and handed out 5 assists. That kind of production changes everything. It was assertive, efficient, and exactly what this team needs if they're going to be more than just average. Coming into this game, Towns had been putting up 18.3 points per game through the first 7 games. Sure, that puts him ahead of about 26% of players, but for a guy with his skill set, that's not cutting it. He's been floating somewhere in the middle of the pack instead of dominating. But tonight, he reminded everyone exactly how dangerous he can be when he's locked in. Let's talk about the shooting, because that's where Towns has been strangely underwhelming so far. His effective field goal percentage was just 44.3% coming into tonight. That's right around league average, which is wild considering the volume he's taking. He's putting up 13.2 field goal attempts per game, but only making about 3.32 pointers and 1.7 threes. That's not efficient. He's averaging just 0.9 points per shot, which, again, isn't what you want from your star big man. His true shooting percentage is a little more forgiving at 56.1%, which puts him around the middle of the league. That's because he's getting to the line. He's drawing 7.3 free throws a game, which is helping his scoring efficiency bump up to 1.1 points per scoring attempt. That's good, but not elite. The thing is, tonight, he didn't settle. He attacked, he stayed active on the glass, got easy buckets, and finished plays with force instead of fadeaways. When he does that, he's an entirely different player. And the Knicks need that version of Towns if they're going to win big. Because when he plays like this, his offensive rating skyrockets. Before this game, he had an offensive rating of 119.3. That's already a solid number, better than most players, but it becomes way more dangerous when he's playing aggressive and confident. His defensive rating before tonight was 115, which meant his net rating was plus 4.3. That's fine, but it should be higher. The guy has too much talent to just be hovering in the green. He should be putting teams away, not just surviving on the court. And he's capable of that. He's had a positive plus minus in over 83% of games so far. That's no accident. When he's on, the team wins those minutes. His on-off numbers back that up too. The team has been 9.3 points better per 100 possessions when he's on the floor. That's a meaningful gap. That shows he's making a difference, but also that when he's not aggressive, the drop-off is steep. Now, when you look at his ball handling metrics, he's middle of the pack. His rating is at 62%, which isn't bad for a big man, but it does reflect some of the issues with decision-making. He averages 2.8 assists per game, which is decent, but it's matched by 2.8 turnovers. That's a 1-to-1 ratio, and that can't happen if he's going to have the ball in his hands as much as he does. His assist percentage is just 11.64%, which is lower than about 62% of players. That means he's not creating many looks for teammates. The 7 points per game that come from his assists is below average too. So while he's getting the ball, he's not really running the offense through him. The turnover numbers are especially frustrating. He turns the ball over on about 14.78% of his offensive actions. That's 1 in every 7 possessions ending in a mistake. You can't afford that from your star, especially when he's playing over 70 possessions a night. But here's the thing. When he plays with rhythm like he did tonight, that number can drop. He was decisive, clean, and didn't over-dribble. That's what they need, not the hesitant, pump-fake machine who gives defenses time to recover. On the defense side, Towns has been quietly solid. His mixed team defense rating is better than 88% of players, which is not something people usually expect from him. He's got 1.2 blocks per game and grabs 10.2 defensive rebounds. That's cleaning up the glass at a really high level. His defensive rebound percentage is 31.77, which is elite. Only about 20% of players are pulling down a higher rate of available defensive boards. And tonight, he brought that same energy. 13 rebounds total, with 3 coming on the offensive side, shows how involved he was. Speaking of offensive boards, his offensive rebound percentage is 8.22, which is also elite. That means he's grabbing about 1 out of every 12 available offensive rebounds when he's on the court. That kind of effort leads to easy buckets, extra possessions, and a huge impact on momentum. Again, those are the details that matter in tight games. When he's engaged and crashing the glass, it adds pressure to opposing defenses and takes pressure off the Knicks guards to do everything. His overall rebounding average this season is 13.2 per game, and that's already better than 79% of players. But tonight showed he can push that even higher if he stays active. There's no reason he shouldn't be around 15 boards every time he plays over 30 minutes. The tools are there. It just comes down to effort and mindset. Now let's get into usage. Towns has a usage rate of 23.5%, which means nearly 1 in 4 offensive possessions ends with him taking a shot, going to the line, passing for a shot, or turning it over. That's high, and it means his efficiency matters a lot. He's using about 71.5 possessions a game. That's a heavy load, and it puts pressure on him to not waste touches. When he's shooting poorly or coughing up the ball, it drags the entire offense down. But tonight, with 33 points and clean execution, he showed how good that usage can look when he stays focused. This is the version of Towns the Knicks have to rely on, not the passive version who fades in and out of games, but the one who plays with intent. He doesn't have to drop 30 plus every night, but the efficiency and engagement have to be consistent, because when he's locked in, his scoring opens up space for others. His rebounding controls the paint, and his presence just elevates the team's ceiling. It's not about highlight plays. It's about consistent impact in every phase of the game. The numbers show he can be a top rebounder. They show he can score with efficiency when he gets to the line and keeps the shot selection smart. They show he can make a positive impact defensively when he stays disciplined. And they show he's already giving the team a lift when he's on the floor, even when the shots haven't been falling. But if the Knicks want to be great, Towns has to bring this version of himself every game, because this version puts pressure on opposing bigs, forces double teams, and sets a tone. And when he plays like this, it lets the rest of the roster fall into place. Guards can attack without worrying about bailing out the front court. Wings can cut knowing they've got a willing passer down low. And the defense has an anchor who who can finish possessions with rebound. The margin between being a good team and a great one is thin. It comes down to consistency, efficiency, and players stepping into their roles fully. Towns did all of that tonight. And if he keeps doing it, the Knicks go from dangerous to legit contenders. But then I want to talk about Josh Hart. Josh Hart finally looked like the guy the Knicks absolutely need him to be, and it showed up in the numbers all over the place. In 27 minutes, he dropped 12 points, grabbed 10 rebounds, and dished out 5 assists. That's the kind of balanced, high-energy output that makes a real difference. It's not flashy, but it's effective. And the Knicks need that efficiency from him, because up until tonight, the stats have been rough. Coming into this game, Hart was averaging just 5 points per game. That's more than only 15% of players. Not exactly the kind of production that lifts a second unit. His effective field goal percentage was sitting at 34.5%, which again is only better than about 15% of players. That number is brutally low for someone getting regular rotation minutes. And it gets worse when you look at his true shooting percentage, which was 39.1%. That means he's averaging only 0.8 points per scoring attempt. You just can't have a wing putting up that kind of inefficiency and expect the offense to thrive. Now, what made tonight different is that he finally contributed across the board. He got his touches and made the most of them. Coming into the night, he was attempting about 5.8 shots per game and making only 1.42 pointers and 0.4 three-pointers. That's a brutal shooting clip, but tonight he showed that if he plays within the flow and stays aggressive, those numbers can look a lot better. And they have to, because when he's scoring efficiently, the whole bench unit functions better. But scoring's just part of it. Hart's offensive rating before tonight was 110.3. That's decent, but not enough to outweigh his defensive rating, which was sitting at a painful 126.4. That gave him a net rating of negative 16.1. To put that into perspective, that's one of the worst marks in the league. It means the Knicks were getting outscored by 16 points per 100 possessions when Hart was on the floor. And the plus-minus numbers back that up. He only had a positive plus-minus in 40% of games, and his on-off differential, negative 12.8. That means the team was nearly 13 points better per 100 possessions when Hart was sitting on the bench. That's not a stat you want hanging over your rotation guy. Tonight, though, he brought that edge on the glass, which is where he can really flip a game. He had 10 boards, and coming into this one, he was averaging 6.6 rebounds per game, which is better than 86% of players. That includes 2.6 offensive rebounds per game, which puts him in the top 11% of players. His offensive rebound percentage is over 10%, which is insane for a wing. That kind of hustle gives the Knicks second chance opportunities they wouldn't otherwise get. It also shows up in his defensive rebound percentage, which is 20.62. That's a solid mark for a guard-forward hybrid, and it gives the Knicks flexibility to push the ball off rebounds without always relying on a big. Where Hart's been most inconsistent is with his passing. He averages 3.2 assists per game, which sounds nice on paper. That puts him above 76% of players. His assist percentage is over 20%, which means he's assisting on 1 in 5 of his teammates' buckets while he's on the floor. But here's the problem. His turnover percentage is nearly 22%. That's massive. He turns it over nearly once every 5 offensive actions. That's why his assisted points per game is just 8. That number is actually lower than 83% of the league. His ball handling rating is surprisingly high at 77%, but that's a little misleading when you factor in how often he coughs it up. If he can keep that under control, he'll unlock a lot more for the Knicks' second unit, because when he's getting the ball and making decisions, you want him facilitating without being a liability. Defensively, there's been some struggle too. His steal numbers are okay at 0.8 per game, but he hasn't recorded a single block, none. His individual defense metrics don't do him any favors either. That defensive rating of 126.4 means he's getting burned on a team level. His defensive rebound numbers help, but they can't cover up the lack of consistent stops. His mixed team defense rating is only better than 30% of the league. So again, the numbers say he's not exactly locking anyone up, but tonight felt different. He wasn't perfect, but he was active. He was engaged, and the energy was clearly higher. If that carries over, the advanced stats will start creeping back in his favor, but they won't move unless he keeps showing up like this. And finally, let's not forget usage. Hart's usage rate is sitting at 14.5%, which is low. He's not taking a ton of shots or dominating possessions, but he still turns it over too much for someone with that kind of role. He averages about 5.8 field goal attempts, 1.4 free throw attempts, 3.2 assists, and 1.8 turnovers per game. That's about 46.5 possessions where he's directly involved, and nearly 2 of those are ending in a turnover. That ratio has to tighten up. The Knicks don't need Hart to be a star. They just need him to do what he did tonight. Score a little more efficiently, rebound like a maniac, make smart passes, and bring defense that doesn't completely crater the team rating. If he does that, even for 25 to 30 minutes a night, it changes the ceiling of the whole team because they've got the top end talent. What they need is a bench that doesn't fall apart the second the starters sit. And that starts with Hart being more like the version they saw tonight. But then I want to talk about OG. OG has been quietly putting together one of the most complete and efficient starts to a season, and the numbers make that crystal clear. There's no mystery here, just a player who's doing almost everything at a high level. Through 7 games, he's averaging 17.3 points per game, which puts him ahead of 64% of players across the league. That kind of scoring, coming from a guy not constantly dominating the ball, is exactly what winning teams need. It's efficient, it's timely, and it's consistent. Let's start with the shooting number, because that's where OG has taken a leap. His effective field goal percentage is 57.4%. That puts him ahead of nearly 60% of players, and it matters, because he's getting those numbers on decent volume. He's attempting 13.5 shots per game and hitting 3 2-pointers and 3.2 3-pointers. That's right, he's knocking down more threes than twos. That gives him 1.1 points per field goal attempt, which is nothing to brush off. When you're scoring that efficiently on a mix of jumpers and drives, you force defenses to make hard choices, and he's been doing that every night. His true shooting percentage is sitting at 59.1%, which jumps him up into the 99th percentile when it comes to scoring efficiency. That's a huge deal. That stat includes his free throws, where he's getting to the line 2.5 times a game. That's not a ton, but combined with his solid shooting splits, he's averaging 1.2 points per scoring attempt. That puts him among the league's best in terms of making the most of his possessions. And it shows. Every time he touches the ball, he's adding value without overextending himself. The biggest impact, though, isn't just in scoring. His offensive rating is a massive 121, which is better than most players in the league. And on the other side, his defensive rating is 111.1. That gives him a net rating of plus 9.8, which is elite. That number means that when OG is on the court, his team outscores opponents by almost 10 points per 100 possessions. That's exactly the kind of presence that moves teams from good to great. He's had a positive plus-minus in over 83% of games, and his on-off impact is plus 15. That means the team is 15 points better per 100 possessions when he's on the floor compared to when he's off. That's enormous. And it's not a fluke. It's a reflection of how much he contributes on both ends. He makes everything easier for everyone around him, and he does it without demanding the spotlight. Ball handling wise, he's right around 67%, which is a solid mark for a wing who's not initiating the offense every trip down. He's averaging 2.7 assists per game, and while that's not going to blow anyone away, it puts him in a respectable spot. His assist percentage is 11.19, which means he's assisting on about 1 in every 9 teammate field goals while he's on the floor. That's enough to show he's not a black hole with the ball. He'll find the open man when the opportunity's there. The turnovers are minimal too. He's only giving it away 1.8 times per game, which gives him a turnover percentage of just 11.11. That's a great number, considering how often he's touching the ball. He's directly involved in nearly 73 possessions per game, and he's keeping the mistakes low while still being involved. That kind of efficiency from a wing is rare, and it's a big reason his impact shows up in every advanced stat. Defensively, he's been one of the most valuable players so far. His mixed team defense rating is better than 92% of the league. That's elite territory. And it's not just team numbers. His individual stats are strong too. He's averaging 2 steals per game, which is massive. That's 2 extra possessions per night, just from him reading passing lanes and picking pockets. He's also getting 0.8 blocks per game, which is solid for a wing. And on the glass, he's contributing too. He's pulling down 5.7 rebounds per game, with 4.5 of those coming on the defensive side. That gives him a defensive rebound percentage of 13.24, which ranks better than 64% of players. That's not top-tier big man territory, but it's definitely strong for a wing. It means he's helping end possessions and keeping opposing teams from getting second chances. And on the offensive end, he's grabbing 1.2 boards per game, which pushes his offensive rebound percentage to 3.08. That ranks ahead of 62% of the league. So again, he's helping out in areas that don't always get attention. His usage rate is 19.8%, which is the perfect spot for a player like him. He's not dominating possessions, but he's involved enough to stay in rhythm and make a consistent impact. His breakdown includes 13.5 field goal attempts, 2.5 free throw attempts, 2.7 assists, and 1.8 turnovers. That's a clean line. It means he's taking smart shots, making smart passes, and staying within his role while still producing at a high level. The overall possession count is 72.3 per game, and the efficiency across those is exactly what you want from a complimentary star. He's not a volume scorer trying to shoot his way into relevance. He's a two-way monster, quietly stacking wins through smart, consistent, and efficient basketball. What makes this even more valuable is the way his numbers blend together. You've got a guy who's scoring 17 plus points a game on fewer than 14 shots. He's doing it with elite efficiency while keeping his turnovers low, contributing defensively, and spacing the floor with over 3 made threes per game. That's not common. That's not even normal. That's exactly what makes OG one of the most valuable players in the league right now, because he's doing everything, and he's doing it all within the flow of the game. This kind of balance is what coaches dream about. He's not one-dimensional. He's not disappearing on defense. He's not hijacking the offense. Instead, he's giving his team scoring when needed, passing when appropriate, clamping down on defense, and never forcing anything. It's all in rhythm, and it's all built to win. And this is not some lucky stretch either. The metrics back up everything he's doing. His true shooting, his net rating, his on-off differential, and his usage all point to a player who's been one of the most impactful guys in the league through these first 7 games. The Knicks are clearly better when he's on the floor, and the stats make it impossible to argue otherwise. There are players who put up flashier numbers. There are guys who score more or throw more highlight passes. But the value OG brings is in the way he ties everything together. He doesn't need to go for 30 points to win a game. He just needs to keep doing exactly what he's been doing. 17 points on elite efficiency, active hands on defense, solid rebounding, and smart passing. That combination is hard to find and even harder to sustain. But right now he's doing both, and the numbers suggest he's not even overperforming. He's just being himself. That's the most impressive part. He's not playing out of his mind. He's just playing smart, confident basketball every night, and the team is reaping the benefits. If this is the version of OG the Knicks get all season, they're going to be in great shape. They've got scorers, they've got creators. What they need is someone who can glue it all together, and OG's been that guy. The numbers tell the full story. High efficiency, low mistakes, top-tier defense, and consistent impact across the board. He's doing all the little things that don't show up in box scores too. But even just looking at the numbers we do have, it's clear he's been one of the most valuable pieces on the floor. Keep that up, and the wins are going to follow. If you guys enjoyed this, I'll be posting every day. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching.